So, boom, this clip is about 2 minutes and 30 seconds, something in that ballpark. We are going to live react to it today. Well, not live, but I'm going to react to it. So let's get into it. It's basically talking about how male friendships are shallow and they last long because there's no substance to them. Let's get to that.
The homies, I don't know their birthday until the day of, straight up. And nobody cares.
I have been itching to talk about this, so let's talk about it. There's been this ongoing joke that women fall out over anything with their friends, but men have friendships that last a lifetime, so it seems like men make better friends than women. But that can't be any further from the truth, and here is why. The reason why male friendships seem to last a lifetime is because they lack depth. Most men do not prioritize intimacy and emotional connection the way women do in our female friendships.
Spoiler alert, that's because men and women are different. Men and women have different brains. Men and women have different psychology. Men and women are wired different through the body all the way up to the brain. So we put value on different things. We react to different things differently. So when men are dealing with men, it's definitely different than when women are dealing with women because of biological differences that also create psychological differences. I need you to remember that throughout this because I watched a lot of responses for this. This is an older video. None of them really mention this. Which is crazy to me, but let's continue.
A lot of men have surface level friendships with their friends. They only bond over sports, music, or shared interests like going to the club. This man just admitted on camera that he doesn't even know most of his friend's birthday until the day of. That would literally never happen in a female friendship because we actually prioritize getting to know each other beyond the surface level interests.
Now, I want to stop there very quickly because she thinks that knowing a birthday is some super deep stuff, like knowing somebody's birthday. It's not. That's still shallow. That's still superficial. That's just knowing the day somebody was born, celebrating their birthday. There's nothing of real substance to that. If we want to talk about substance, what was your childhood like? What do you fear? Things of that nature actually have depth, not the day that you were born. And I also want to highlight something else. When it comes to women and it comes to men, I mean, there are men who value their birthday and stuff like that. But women grow up with the princess complex, and this is universal from country to country, society to society. That's just what it is. Women are delicate and stuff like that, but they grow up with the princess complex. They get, treated like, the world revolves around them and that they're special and you're a princess. They get fed this stuff. When it comes to their birthday, you got to think about this. Even when a dude does this, because I said it's okay if a guy cares about his birthday, but what I'm about to say, if a dude is doing this, it's feminine. It's not really something that you see most dudes doing. That's not me trying to knock dudes. This is just what it is. Most women, this is mostly a woman thing. Women's birthdays are so important to them that you'll see chicks say stuff like, the whole weekend is my birthday, or the whole week is my birthday, or the whole month is my birthday. We celebrate my birthday the whole month and stuff like that. Why is that important to an individual woman? That is important because that is the day that they get showered with love, attention, gifts, affection. That's what it is. They get to feel extra special on that day every year. It's a celebration of them. One of the words that, Rollo Tomasi loves to use that's not really in my vocabulary, it's not a word that I really use, is solipsism. That plays into a woman's solipsism. Now, I put the definition on the screen, but without reading it, I'm just going to let you know it's basically being self-centered and thinking you are pretty much the center of the universe. That's what it is. And a lot of women, it's very standard for women to have that going on to a certain extent. She really thinks that knowing a birthday and celebrating a birthday is something of depth, when really it's just her solipsism to why she thinks it's the most important thing. And I want to point out something else. When it comes to solipsism, most men don't have that. You know why? Because the world reinforces it. Not only lets you know, but it reinforces the idea that nobody is coming to save you, nobody gives a fuck about you, and that's just what it is. So guys have to face reality when it comes to their life. Women, they may have to in certain moments, but when it comes to their solipsism and things like that, it's usually supported. Let's continue.
Most men do not connect with their friends emotionally like women do, and that's why their friendships seem to last a lifetime, because they don't actually know each other beyond a surface level. Of course, male friendships seem to last forever because they're not actually bonding with each other. All they know is watch football game and go to club. They don't actually sit with each other and bond and open up emotionally and share intimate moments together in their lives the same way women do.
Now, before I get to men, I just want to say this. What she is incapable of. Number one, she doesn't have the fundamental understanding that I mentioned at the top of the video, that men and women are different. We don't need to open up emotionally to another man to bond with them. We don't. And that's how come, because she's looking at it from a woman's point of view and what women do with each other when they go and they get bonbons and cry and watching movies and stuff like that. And then, just talk about their exes and their trauma and trauma bond and stuff like that. Like, she thinks that the way women do friendship is how all friendships should be, even if it's male to male. But men and women are different for a reason. Like, we're biologically different, which is why we're psychologically different. Like, you guys bleed 7 days. That is an experience. Like, you guys give childbirth. That's experiences that we cannot relate to. What your hormones do to you, we cannot relate to. We can't. That is why you are different, and that is why your friendships look different. And boy, I can't wait to get to the part where I talk about female friendship. But let's talk about the men first. I'm not going to go deep on the superficial stuff because as a guy who's lived a man experience my whole life, I mean, even in third grade, I recognized that there was a difference between a superficial friend, and if you have a big friend group, a big circle of friends, like you'll have those superficial friendships where it's like, the guys, they only fuck with you because, you're popular, or they only fuck with you because you got something to benefit, or, it's just real phony. Like, you're just a cool guy and you're a part of the group and everything is cool, but everybody talk about each other behind their back and stuff like that. When you get around like cool circles of friends with a bunch of dudes and it's real superficial and like that type of stuff, you'll see that type of action going on. So I'm not going to act like there's no such thing as superficial friendships amongst men. I'm not going to act like that. You could even call those associates and things of that nature where there's not really a real bond there. And I've had those situations. But let's talk about real friends. Let's talk about real friends. So the first thing is, when it comes to any type of relationship, and this is all relationships, there has to be some level of common ground and stuff like that. There has to be something that brings you together to bond. If you think of work or anything like that, or basketball, or just even when you was on a football team, those types of things bring you together and they create that common ground. Over the time, this is the emotion that you get, as far as male friends and stuff like that. You enjoy each other's company. You can laugh with this person. The person is funny. You guys get each other. You have a vibe together. You have a chemistry. You're into the same things. So you could talk about these and they entertain you. And, when we talk about like dopamine and all that type of stuff, you want to get into the emotional and all that. Like, it puts us in a good emotional state having these conversations with each other. And we actually do build a bond talking about these things. And see, this is another thing that I'm gonna just get to. Like, if we, like, for example, like, if you have two guys who are artists or musicians or something like that, what they have is a passion, or what a lot of people in the manosphere like to call a purpose. Two people that know business or whatever, they love business and they come together on that. That's, if their purpose connects on that level, this is something that they dedicate their life to. This is something that they spend a lot of time and invest a lot of time into. This is something that they feel is a driving force in their life. So when guys connect on that level, there's more substance than knowing a fucking birthday when it comes to that. Way more substance. Because this is something I live, I breathe. This is something that I truly love. And we both share that love in a way that most people don't. And we can communicate about it in a way that only we can. You get that? So that's where a lot of the so you see how I painted the picture as far as where the emotion and the bonding and everything comes into play. But even then, if you want to open up and stuff like that, dog, think about this. Like when a guy is getting a divorce or something like that, or a guy breaks up, who do you think they go and talk to? If you got some friends who really just like hard asses and they don't want to hear nothing you got to say, bruh, it's not going to, it's too bad for you. But in a lot of cases, I don't want to say most men, but if you have a good friend, you're able to vent to that good friend about your situations. You are. They're able to vent to you about their situations. That's just what it is. And the thing about that is, I just want to keep it so real with you, unlike when you vent to your, and don't get it twisted, like, some dudes, they not going to just let you keep complaining and complaining for weeks and weeks and weeks and months and months and months. But when you do that with a woman, there is a chance that during an argument, she will throw that back in your face. But guess what? Women are, their bonds are the greatest. They are the greatest bonders and they are the greatest friendships and all this stuff. So I just wanted to get that squared away as far as like, men don't open up to each other. They're not emotional. Like, you don't like it because it doesn't look how female relationships look. And you can't relate to that because this is the part that I left out. A lot of women don't have a purpose or a passion. They don't have anything that they are moving towards. They don't have anything as far as something that they want to put their life into that's a hobby, or I don't even want to call it a hobby, because when it's a purpose or a passion, it's something that, yeah, you might not be able to get paid for, but it's something you do very well and you put a lot of time into it, et cetera, et cetera. When you talk to a lot of chicks, they don't have that going on. Some do. If you do, salute to you. But even if you do as a woman, you got to keep it real. If you go to your job, most of the chicks that you see at your job don't have no purpose outside of that job. They don't have no passion outside of that job. And if they do, it's raising their kids or something like that. And look, I'm black. Perfect example is you see chicks cutting down dudes in the black community who do stuff like semi-pro football or rapping or anything like that, and this is things that people take serious and they're really trying to get somewhere with it. And it's made, a few millionaires and stuff like that, and a few people a lot of money, or a lot of people a lot of money and stuff like that. But it's something that chicks love to cut down. And when you look at what they're doing, look at what they do. They like estheticians and all of this other stuff, so they don't really relate on that level because it's like a lot of them don't have a passion. But when you look at somebody like a Simone Biles or something like that, or you look at a chick that's like really into poetry or something like that, or whatever the case may be, like those types of people have something to where That's something that they really into, that they could do, they could relate. But most chicks don't have a passion or purpose. I can almost guarantee you this chick doesn't have one. So she's not going to be able to relate to connecting with people on that level. Let's continue.
That's why it seems like women are always falling out with our friends, because we actually have a solid relationship that goes beyond the surface. So when that intimacy and that trust is shattered, of course, we don't want to be friends with that girl anymore. Whereas men, they only bond over hookah and basketball. So there's not really much there to disrupt.
So we're going to address three things. The first thing is, she says that's why it seems like women are always falling out, because we got such strong bonds. And when the bonds are damaged and the trust is broken, we don't want to be. Well, how about this? Because the one thing she didn't mention, she tried to paint the picture that they got strong bonds and stuff. Why are women breaking these strong bonds so much? This strong bond, is it because the bonds are sensitive? She never actually gave a reason to why women are breaking these bonds so much, why they are, having these issues so much. She just said that, we have a stronger friendship base. So when the trust is violated, no. Address why the trust is violated so much. She never does that because she never thought that far. She has an agenda to fulfill, and she was trying to string this together any way that she could to fulfill that agenda. And she thought she was smart when she was doing it. She really thought that she stringed together something smart. But this is the other fallacy of what she says. So the trust is broken between women, and the reason that women don't want to be friends with each other anymore is because the bond was so strong, and you damaged that strong bond by shattering the trust. Oh my God. But then when you get over to the guys, you telling me, because this is what's implied, when the trust is broken with guys, we just keep being friends. Because hookah is all we care about. Hookah and basketball, shooting hoops, bruh. It's the biggest crock of shit. It's the biggest crock of shit. And I'm going to tell you why. So this is the third thing and the last thing that we're going to address, which is female friendships. Before we get to that, I want to say this to her last point. When it comes to men, one of the things, as far as the values universally from society to society, because we run society, one of the values that is there is that a man be a man of integrity. When men realize that another man within a friend group, or just period, person to person, is not a trustworthy person, they're done with that man. The group is done with that man. Every one of you have heard an expression like, as a man, all you have is your word is your bond, or even you are a man of your word. There's one that I think I'm missing that I wish I could remember, but these phrases all apply to men for a reason, because there has to be trust amongst men. If there's not, it could be deadly. That's just what it is. Why don't these apply to women? Is because women just got to keep it so real with you, man. Like, there's no integrity requirement for women. And even when it comes to society supports a lack of integrity for women. That's just what it is. Even when it comes to their nature, they don't say what they mean and mean what they say. I don't have to break that down. If you just think of how women argue in relationships, if you know women, you know. So with all of that being said, this video is running kind of long, so I'm not going to drag this too long, but female friendship. So the thing, when you look at female friendships, this is how a lot of female friendships break down. First off, women are way more social than men, just naturally. So women are going to have, in most cases, a lot of friends. They're going to have probably a couple friend groups, if not just one friend group. Now, with these chicks, They're going to be friends. It's going to be five of them. Everything is going to be good until it's not, until two of them get together behind the other three, talk about one, and then the one of them from those two goes and tells the other one, and then they have all these internal quarrels and stuff like that. If you look at it, chicks in friend groups usually have a lot of fallout. She didn't say this for no reason. This is because the nature of women. Women are jealous of each other. You've heard people say jealousy is a female trait. Men can be jealous and men are jealous every day. But the thing is, it's just not built in us to just be jealous for no reason or just for the pettiest stuff. Like, women get jealous of over other women just because they're getting attention, just because they exist. That's just what it is. That's just a part of their nature. They just be jealous of other women. And if you are not a jealous woman, another woman is jealous of you. That's just what it is. The girl code is not really a real thing. These chicks will be friends since the sandbox, and one of them will fuck the other's man. I just watched a story. I forget, it was actually a radio show where a chick called in, and her friend, like, she was about to get married and stuff like that. And her best friend told her, I can't hold it in no more. Like, at the wedding, like, before she was about to get married, your husband's a cheating on you, da 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 da. Let's run away. She believed her friend, ran away. Like 10, 20 years later, she found out that the friend was lying about the whole thing. Why would somebody sabotage their friend's wedding like that? Their whole relationship and wedding like that? Because of jealousy. I can't think of a time where a guy has done something like that at a wedding. At a wedding? Like, come on, man. And don't get it twisted. Dudes dirty Mac and stuff like that. But like that, from a friend, from your best friend, from your closest friend, only a woman could do that. I'll keep it so real with you. Only a woman could do it. Yeah, your best friend could fuck your bitch. I'm not about to sit here and lie. But your best friend is not about to tell you that your bitch is fucking another nigga. Just out of spite and out of jealousy, just so y'all could just not be happy. That's what's not gonna happen. That is so ridiculous. Now, this is the other thing. And I kind of mentioned this. Women gossip. Come on, man. We know the tabloids and all that stuff. All that stuff is made for women and stuff like that. But listen, the one saying that I've had for a long time is that once you tell a woman a secret, it's no longer a secret. And that's just real. Because I don't know what it is exactly, but it's like knowing your personal information, and even a woman knowing another woman's personal information. That shit is social currency to them. That shit is like gold. And I'm not going to hold you, bro. I got to keep it so real with you. Like, the other people that you watch on YouTube is not giving it up like this. I'm really giving y'all nuggets of gold right now, bro. But listen, when dudes go to the barber shop, like how she mentioned, we'll talk about LeBron James and all types of stuff like that. A dude might talk about something he hit, or we might talk about some bitches and stuff like that, but that's it. Man, when you look at a salon, you know the type of shit they talking about. They talking about Brenda getting her car repoed. Some chick is telling some other chick secrets. Some other chick is telling some other chick secrets through the rumor mill. They putting the pieces together. That's what they do. So when you talk about that betrayal, think about what she said. Like, intimacy opening up. I said earlier, the chicks will throw that shit in your face as a man. Certain shit that you give them when you open up to them. Just keeping it so real. They not shit, bro, because they will even take something that they got from one of their friends and just use it It just in another conversation, like their personal information is social currency. Just to have a conversation, just to have more favor with the next person, just because that's what they live for. They love to gossip and stuff like that. Now, this is another thing about women, and it goes hand in hand with jealousy and gossip. This might just be like a trinity, like a triangle when it comes to females and just relationships and friendships and stuff like that. Drama and chaos. They love drama and chaos. They really do. They really do. That is why soap operas and books and stuff like that, they're really stimulating to women. Because they could get their drunk, like, they watch The View and all of this gossip stuff and just like it and just drama. Like, they love that stuff. So if a beef is going on or anything like that, I mean, it's some women who love to fight and they love to be on that. Some chicks who just love to shit on chicks. That's just what it is. Now, this doesn't mean, I want to be clear, this doesn't mean that every woman likes drama, because there are women who don't like drama. But just think about this, man, and I'm going to leave on this note, man, when it comes to drama. Think about all the guys that you know. When they are having problems with their friendships or their intimate relationships, how often do you see them come to social media and write a paragraph about a personal dispute that they had that the internet didn't know about? Now look at the women. How many times when you log on to Facebook or Twitter do you see a chick airing out business that we didn't even ask for about her and her baby daddy, her and her man, her and her husband, the intimate details of their relationship, even their friendships that we didn't ask for, that nobody would have known had they just kept their fucking mouth shut? That's what they like to put that shit out there. They like to create public narratives, and they just like the drama, bro. They like the chaos. They like the drama, man. So with that being said, I know this was a long one, but listen, man, I gave you some gold with this one, man. Let me know your thoughts. I'm out.